The sleek, silvery spacecraft of the Sci-Fi Exploration fleet hovered silently above Earth's atmosphere. Captain Zara Xon, her translucent skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, stood on the bridge, her four eyes fixed on the blue and green orb below. Earth had long been a subject of curiosity for the Sci-Fians, a highly advanced species that prided itself on its logical approach to the universe. "Commence the observation protocol," Zora commanded, her melodic voice echoing through the ship's communication system. A team of Sci-Fian scientists began their meticulous study of the planet's surface, searching for signs of intelligent life. It didn't take long for them to detect the sprawling cities, the networks of transportation, and the complex communication systems that crisscross the globe. But what truly caught their attention was the incredible diversity of life forms coexisting with the dominant species, humans. "Captain," called out Science Officer Krell, his tentacles waving in excitement, "you need to see this." He projected a series of holographic images in the center of the bridge. The images showed humans interacting with various creatures, petting dogs, riding horses, swimming with dolphins, and even keeping small predators like cats in their dwellings. Zara's inner eyelids blinked rapidly in astonishment. "Is this normal behavior for them?" she asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. Krell nodded, his head tendrils bobbing. "It appears to be widespread across their culture. They seem to form strong emotional bonds with these other species, even those that are clearly not of their kind." The concept was almost incomprehensible to the Sci-Fians. In their society, interspecies interactions were strictly limited to scientific study, or, when necessary, diplomatic relations. The idea of forming emotional attachments to other creatures was foreign, even a bit unsettling. "We need to investigate further," Zara decided. "Prepare a landing party. We'll make first contact and observe these humans up close." The landing party, disguised to look human thanks to advanced holographic technology, touched down in a bustling city park. They watched in fascination as humans went about their daily lives, constantly interacting with various creatures. Zara, now appearing as a tall woman with silver hair, nearly jumped when a small furry animal approached her, wagging its tail. A human child followed, smiling brightly. "Don't worry, she's friendly," the child said, patting the creature. "This is my dog, Bella. Do you want to pet her?" Hesitantly, Zara reached out, her fingers brushing against the soft fur. To her surprise, the sensation was pleasant. The dog's tail wagged faster, and it let out a soft, happy sound. "See, she likes you." The child giggled before running off to join their parents. As the day progressed, the Sci-Fians witnessed countless similar interactions. They saw humans feeding birds in the park, elderly individuals finding comfort in the company of cats, and even watched as a group of humans cheered on a dog performing tricks. But it wasn't just domesticated animals. At a nearby wildlife rehabilitation center, they observed humans caring for injured wild animals with the same level of compassion and dedication. "It's extraordinary," Krell murmured, his holographic disguise flickering slightly with his excitement. "They seem to have an innate ability to connect with almost any living creature." As they continued their observations, they stumbled upon a local fair where various animals were on display. Here they saw humans interacting with farm animals, exotic reptiles, and even insects with equal fascination and care. One particular scene caught Zora's attention. A young human was gently holding a butterfly on their finger, talking softly to it before letting it flutter away. The pure joy on the human's face was unlike anything Zora had ever seen. As the day turned to evening, the Sci-Fians regrouped to discuss their findings. They had witnessed humans bonding with creatures of all sizes, from the tiniest of insects to large mammals. Each interaction seemed to bring the humans a sense of joy, comfort, or purpose. "This ability," Zara said, her voice filled with wonder, "it's not just a cultural phenomenon. It seems to be an integral part of their nature. They can form emotional connections with virtually any living being." Krell nodded in agreement. It's as if they have an empathic ability that extends beyond their own species. This could have profound implications for their role in the galactic community. As they prepared to return to their ship, a stray cat approached Zora. Without thinking, she reached down to stroke its fur, surprised by the warmth that spread through her at the animal's contented purr. Back on the ship, Zara stood before the Zephyrian High Council via holographic communication, delivering her report on the day's observations. "Esteemed Council," she began, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil, "we have discovered something truly remarkable about the humans. Their ability to bond with other species goes beyond anything we've ever encountered. It's not just a curiosity or a cultural oddity. It's a fundamental aspect of their nature that could reshape our understanding of interspecies relations." The council members murmured among themselves, their bioluminescent patterns flickering with a mix of curiosity and concern. "This ability," Zora continued, "while strange to us, could be invaluable. Imagine the possibilities in diplomacy, in understanding new life forms, in bridging gaps between different species. The human's empathy and ability to connect might be the key to fostering peace and understanding across the galaxy." As Zara concluded her report, she knew that this discovery would change everything. The humans, with their remarkable ability to bond with any creature, were about to shake the foundations of the galactic community. And the Zephyrians, despite their initial shock, were now at the forefront of what promised to be a new era of interspecies relations. The truth was shocking, indeed. Humans could bond with any creature, and the implications of this truth were about to ripple across the stars. The grand hall of the Galactic Concordat buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the chamber, their diverse forms creating a living tapestry of alien life. At the center of attention stood a small delegation of humans, their presence both exciting and unsettling to the assembled dignitaries. Ambassador Elena Chen, a seasoned diplomat with streaks of gray in her dark hair, stepped forward. Her calm demeanor belied the gravity of the moment. This was humanity's formal introduction to the galactic community. "Esteemed members of the Concordat," Elena began, her voice clear and steady, "we come in peace and with great hope for the future. Earth extends its hand in friendship to all." As Elena spoke, a small creature peeked out from her jacket pocket. It was a sugar glider, a tiny marsupial with large eyes and a fluffy tail. Several alien diplomats gasped, some recoiling in surprise. "This is Whisper," Elena said, gently cupping the animal in her hands. "He's been my companion for years. On Earth, it's common for us to form close bonds with various creatures." The Zephyrian delegation, led by Captain Zaraxon, nodded in confirmation. "It's true," Zara added. "We've observed this remarkable ability firsthand. The humans can form emotional connections with virtually any living being." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Some delegates looked intrigued, others skeptical, and a few seemed downright alarmed. Grix, the imposing representative of the warrior Xin race, growled softly. "And how do we know this ability isn't some form of mind control? It could be a threat to us all." Elena smiled warmly at Grix, unfazed by his hostile tone. "I assure you, it's nothing so sinister. Our bonds are based on mutual trust and affection. Perhaps a demonstration would help." With a nod from the Concordat's High Chancellor, Elena invited Grix to approach. The massive feline-like alien did so warily, his claws flexing. Elena held out Whisper, who looked up at Grix with curious eyes. "Would you like to hold him?" Grix hesitated, then grudgingly extended a paw. To everyone's amazement, Whisper showed no fear. The tiny marsupial climbed onto Grix's arm, its little paws tickling the warrior's fur. A collective gasp echoed through the chamber as Grix's fierce expression softened. The Xin's ears twitched, and a low, rumbling purr escaped his throat. "Remarkable," whispered Silith, the plantoid representative from Chloris Prime. "The human speaks true. There is no coercion here, only connection." As the demonstration continued, More alien delegates came forward, each experiencing a moment of connection with Whisper or one of the other animal companions the human delegation had brought. Zara watched in fascination as her fellow aliens, many of whom rarely engaged in physical contact with other species, found themselves charmed by the Earth creatures. Even the silicon-based Lithosians, known for their cold logic, seemed moved by the experience. "You see," Elena explained as she reclaimed Whisper, "this ability to bond isn't about control or dominance. It's about empathy, about recognizing the value in all forms of life. We believe it could be a powerful tool for fostering understanding between different species." The High Chancellor, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent shell, floated forward. "Ambassador Chen, your species' ability is indeed unique in our experience. But how do you propose to use this gift in service of the Galactic Concordat?" Elena's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "In many ways, Chancellor, our empathic abilities could aid in diplomatic missions, helping to bridge cultural gaps. We could assist in the study and conservation of endangered species across the galaxy. And in times of conflict, we might even serve as mediators, helping different species find common ground." The chamber filled with excited chatter as the delegates discussed the possibilities. Even Grix, still looking a bit dazed from his encounter with Whisper, grudgingly admitted the potential benefits. However, not all were convinced. Zlorth, the hive-mind representative of the insectoid Vesperi, buzzed ominously. "This ability could also be a threat. What if the humans use it to manipulate other species for their own gain?" Elena nodded, acknowledging the concern. "A fair point, Delegate Zlorth. Any ability can be misused. That's why we're proposing a series of ethical guidelines for the use of our empathic talents. We would welcome input from all members of the Concordat in developing these guidelines." As the discussions continued, Zara found herself drawn into a conversation with Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a xenobiologist from the human delegation. "How does it work?" Zara asked, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with curiosity. "This ability to bond with other creatures." Dr. Tanaka smiled. "We're still studying it ourselves. It seems to be a combination of factors. Our brains are highly adaptable. We have a natural inclination towards empathy, and there's something in our pheromones that most creatures find non-threatening. But there's still so much to learn." The conversation was interrupted by the High Chancellor's resonant voice. "Delegates of the Concordat, we have heard much today that challenges our preconceptions. The human ability to bond with other life forms is unprecedented and potentially invaluable. I propose we welcome Earth into the Concordat on a probationary basis, with a focus on utilizing their unique talents in diplomatic and scientific missions." The motion was put to a vote. While not unanimous, the majority of delegates voted in favor. Earth was officially part of the galactic community. As the session concluded, Elena found herself surrounded by curious aliens, all eager to learn more about humans and their abilities. She caught Zora's eye across the room and smiled. The Zephyrian captain had been right. Humanity's gift was reshaping the galaxy's understanding of interspecies relations. But as Elena fielded questions and made introductions, she couldn't help but wonder about the challenges ahead. Humanity's ability to bond with any creature was a powerful tool, but it was also a great responsibility. How would it change them as they ventured out into the stars? And how would it change the galaxy? As if sensing her thoughts, Whisper nuzzled against her hand. Elena scratched his head gently, drawing comfort from the simple act. Whatever lay ahead, humans would face it as they always had, with open hearts and a willingness to connect with all forms of life. The diplomatic mission had been a success, but it was only the beginning. The true test of humanity's place in the galaxy was yet to come. The Crixin Crisis. The alarms blared throughout the Galactic Concordat's central space station, bathing the corridors in pulsing red light. Ambassador Elena Chen raced towards the emergency council chamber, her heart pounding. It had been 2 years since Earth joined the Concordat, and now they faced their greatest challenge yet. As Elena entered the chamber, she was met with a scene of chaos. Alien diplomats argued loudly, their translators struggling to keep up with the cacophony of languages. At the center of it all stood the High Chancellor, its energy form flickering with stress. Silence. The Chancellor's voice boomed, bringing a hush to the room. Ambassador Chen, thank you for joining us. The situation is dire. Elena nodded grimly. The Crixans? Yes, the Chancellor confirmed. They'd broken through our outer defenses. Their bioweapons are devastating. Entire ecosystems are being wiped out. The Crixans were a warrior race, driven by a fanatical belief in their own genetic superiority. They saw all other life forms as inferior, fit only for eradication or enslavement. Their sudden violent expansion had caught the Concordat off guard. Grix, the kin representative, snarled in frustration. Our weapons are. Weeks later, Elena found herself on the bridge of the Earth ship Harmony, staring out at the vast Crixan fleet that loomed before them. Beside her stood Dr. Yuki Tanaka and a team of Earth's most skilled animal behaviorists and empaths. Are you sure about this? Captain Zeragson asked from her position at the Harmony's helm. The Zephyrian had volunteered to lead this mission, her faith in humanity's abilities unwavering. Elena took a deep breath. It's our best shot. Begin the operation. At her command, the Harmony's cargo bay opened, releasing thousands of small, specialized probes into space. Each probe contained a variety of Earth creatures, from resilient tardigrades to adaptable cephalopods, all in protected, life-sustaining environments. As the probes made contact with the organic Crixan ships, Elena and her team closed their eyes, focusing all their empathic abilities. They reached out, not to the Crixans themselves, but to the living ships that carried them. At first, there was only silence. Then, slowly, they began to feel it. Confusion, curiosity, and finally, a growing awareness from the Crixan vessels. It's working, Dr. Tanaka whispered, his face etched with concentration. The Earth creatures are bonding with the ships. They're communicating. Through their empathic links, the humans began to understand. The Crixan ships were not just vessels, but sentient beings enslaved and twisted by Crixan biotechnology. For millennia, they had known nothing but pain and servitude. Elena opened her eyes, tears streaming down her face. Show them kindness, she told her team. Show them there's another way. Hours passed, feeling like an eternity. The Crixan fleet remained motionless, caught in an unseen battle of wills and emotions. Then, slowly, impossibly, the massive organic ships began to move. But they weren't attacking. Instead, they were turning, reorienting themselves away from the Concordat's territories. By the stars, Zara breathed. They're leaving. As the Crixan fleet retreated, the Harmony was flooded with transmissions from the liberated ships. They spoke of awakening, of freedom, of a desire for peace. The creatures of Earth had shown them a new path, one of symbiosis rather than domination. In the days that followed, the galaxy celebrated an impossible victory. The Crixan threat had been neutralized not through violence, but through understanding and compassion. Earth's unique ability had saved billions of lives and reshaped the course of galactic history. At a special session of the Concordat, Elena stood before the assembled delegates, whisper perched on her shoulder as always. What we've witnessed is only the beginning, she said. Our ability to bond with other creatures isn't just a quirk of human biology. It's a reminder of a fundamental truth, that all life is connected, that empathy and understanding are the greatest forces in the universe. The chamber erupted in applause. Even Grix, the once skeptical Xin, roared his approval. As the celebrations continued, Elena found a quiet moment with Zora. The Zephyrian captain's bioluminescent patterns glowed with admiration. You've changed everything, you know, Zora said softly. The way we view life, the way we interact with the universe, nothing will ever be the same. Elena smiled, gently stroking Whisper's fur. We all did this together, Zora. Humans, aliens, the creatures of Earth, even the living ships. We're all part of something greater. As they looked out at the stars, Alina felt a profound sense of hope. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, and humanity's journey was just beginning. With open hearts and the ability to forge bonds with any form of life, there was no limit to what they might achieve. The shocking truth about humanity's gift had been revealed, and it had become the galaxy's greatest strength. As long as there was life, there was the potential for understanding, for connection, for peace, and that, Alina realized, was the most powerful force of all.